Good morning, New Canaan High School. I'm Austin Platt coming to you live from the NCTV studio. Today's Friday, November 6th, and a day C. Well, in CHS, we made it through the first quarter despite all of the craziness. On tap for today is the mock election, how to join clubs, and registering for UConn classes. But before all of that, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Continuing with the American theme, NCHS already voted for who they thought should be the next president, but for the latest on the real election, let's head on over to Amelie Linoff. Amelie?
Well, guys, back in 2016, NCHS correctly predicted Donald Trump's presidency, but this time around, we can't say our predictions are correct just yet. While our student body has voted 49% Biden and 34% Trump in our 2020 mock election, the current U.S. election results are still up in the air. As many people know, we're 3 days past election night, and we still don't know who the winner is just yet, but here's what we do know. Right now, Joe Biden has more electoral votes than President Trump, 264 to 214, and is just an arm's reach away from the required 270. There's just a handful of states left who are counting absentee ballots, but in theory, it's still too close to call. To make things more interesting, Trump's campaign is also demanding recounts and challenging the results in court. Something we do know, Austin, is that we should expect the back and forth to continue, and hopefully by the end of the weekend, we'll know who the next president of the country is.
Thanks, Amelie. While we may have predicted the election, something we may not have expected is the recent spike in COVID cases. With the students back in school combined with the start of the flu season, we're seeing an increase in positive cases throughout Fairfield County. Make sure your mask covers both your nose and your mouth, as well as make sure you wash your hands, sanitize, and obviously stay home if you ever feel sick. We obviously don't want to go back to remote learning. Thank you again for your cooperation throughout these trying times. While some of you probably thought that Spirit Week was going to be called off this year, you were wrong. Starting on Monday, we will kick off the week with everyone's favorite Pajama Day, followed by Jersey Day on Tuesday. Wednesday will be a nice break with the half day, but costumes will resume Thursday with Turn Back the Clock Day, and finally, Friday will be Red and Black Day. At this point, you all know how Thursday works, but here's a quick refresher. Freshmen, you will dress up with a 50s theme, sophomores 60s, juniors 70s, and seniors, of course, we get the 80s. Given the current circumstances, what better time is there to show some school spirit? Posters are hung up around the school with some inspiration, so dress up and most importantly, have some fun with it. Speaking of fun, there are always plenty of ways to meet new people through clubs. The club fair is usually held in the cafeteria, but this year it will be virtual. If you're unsure about joining a club, check Mr. Rothman's email for a change, which includes a list and description of each one for you to choose. Most importantly, if you want to hang out with all of us on Thursday afternoons, make sure to include the TV Broadcasting Club on that list. Tickets to the theater department's first show, Icarus's Mother, are now available. Although the show won't take place until November 19th, tickets can be purchased at www.newcannonhighschooltheater.com. It costs $15 for a single ticket and $40 for a family pass. And good news, there are unlimited number of streaming seats. A reminder for those of you who, like me, are taking UConn classes and have applied for credit, the final day you can complete the payment for fall and full year courses is tomorrow, November the 7th. Those of you who wait until after this deadline will be charged with a $50 late fee. You should have received a link to this page via email from the UConn Billing Department, but if not, make sure to reach out to your counselor. Speaking of fees, I'm seeing more and more of you racking up those parking tickets. For upperclassmen who are able to drive, remember, you must have a parking pass clearly displayed on your windshield. Parking violations include a $25 ticket for parking on campus without that parking pass, and a $10 ticket for parking on the grass, in a faculty lot, or blocking the driveway. And finally, $50 fine for parking in a handicapped spot. Once ticketed, you must go to the main office to pay it off. In order to buy a parking pass, you can go to the NCHS website under School Information and then Parking Policy, where you will find a letter from Mrs. Carrero, which includes two things, the parking registration form and the off-campus form. You must fill these out if you want to park on campus. While some of you have parking tickets, I know none of you have tickets to sporting events, which is why Ian Nicholas is back to update us on our Rams. Ian?
Let's talk about those Rams, Platter, who had some really exciting games this week. It's the FCAC playoff season. I'm Ian Nicholas, and this is your Rams Sports Report. Starting indoors, girls volleyball fell to Greenwich, but defeated West Hill last week to make their record 5-4. In the West Hill win, freshman Lily Stevens' 13 kills and captain Elle Snedden's 13 assists led the charge. Their regular season finale this Tuesday was also on the road, and Election Day voted for a narrow West Hill win, 3-1. Girls swim and dive met up with Greenwich 2 weeks ago in what ended up being a 98-80 loss. Senior captain Maddie Haley finished second in the 200 free and junior Ella Olofsson second as a diver. Their final meet of the season involved a trip south to West Hill Stamford last Saturday, ending in another loss, 102-84. Haley dominated again, though, placing first in the 50 and 500 free, and that's why the school named her Ram of the Week last week. Congrats, Maddie. The girls will look to put together their best effort during the FCAC West Region meet next Wednesday at Greenwich. Field hockey finished their season with 3 road games against West Hill, Stamford, and Darien. The wins began with a 5-0 thrashing of West Hill last Wednesday, and it followed it up with a 9-0 blowout at Stamford on Friday. Leading the way for NC was junior forward Molly Mitchell, who scored 6 goals combined in those 2 games, including 5 versus Stamford alone. That's nuts. Put them out of their misery. But the win streak kept getting better this past Tuesday as the ladies defeated arch rival Darien for the second time this season, 3-2. Down 2-1, senior Molly Smith went on a rampage, scoring twice in the final 4 minutes to will the Rams to victory. And when you do that versus Darien, you deserve Ram of the Week. Congrats, Marley. The win gave the ladies a bye in FCAC, so they'll host Greenwich next Tuesday in the semis. And before you ask, of course, we'll be streaming the game on YouTube, so promise me you'll subscribe at NCTV 78 and follow us across social media for updates. Let's finish with boys soccer, who've seen a lot of Stamford over the last 2 weeks. On the road versus West Hill last Wednesday, the game finished in a 0-0 tie. 2 days later, they hosted Stamford on a cold Halloween Eve, only to suffer a spooky 2-0 loss. Then this Monday, the guys bounced back at home with a 3-1 win over West Hill, spearheaded by junior Tommy Kurz's 2 scores. But the biggest matchup of them all was Wednesday, a home FCAC playoff game versus Stamford, and you know NCTV was there. Let's roll the tape. New Canaan's eager to, advance in FCACs, but Stamford, they're not making it easy on them. That one just drops right in the top of the goal, right past Alex Walter. Stamford's up 1-0. Henry Lindbergh says, wait a second, we're here to play some ball. Right before halftime, he ties it up with that snipe. He makes it 1-1. That would be the rest of the scoring for the rest of regulation. So here's the penalty kicks, and here's Irving Dorman, and our NCTV guy, Irving Dorman, is going to get it done. Stamford looks to respond. No. Alex Walter, the Walter Wall, the junior goalie, looks phenomenal. Speaking of juniors, Tommy Kurz, top shelf finish. And this isn't even the best part of a clip, folks. Let's go Olympics, Simone Biles, the flip. It's perfect, but the game's not over yet. Captain Doyle Catlin, the snipe, the win, and that's it. There's a reason why he's going to Denison to play soccer. It's because he's pretty good at it. So your final score is 2-1. The Rams advance to the second round, and they're going to play the #1 seed Greenwich today on the road at 2. So best of luck, guys. Let's finish with the quick hits. Guys and girls XC had the FCAC West Region Championship on Wednesday at Waveney. Boys finished second behind Darien, thanks to a second-place finish from senior Luca Palamenti and a fifth-place finish from captain Alex Malagoli in the 5K. For the girls, they'd placed second as well, behind only Greenwich. 4 runners would place top 10 in the 4K. Sophomore Skylar Bennett in 5th, junior Abby Cheney 8th, freshman Elizabeth McLaughlin 9th, and junior Kira Hines 10th. Both the guys and girls seasons are officially completed. Congrats to all of our runners. And a bit of bad news. As we heard yesterday, the SEAC has delayed the start of the winter sports season. Fingers crossed that everything goes well, but in my opinion, the only season that needs delaying, the Dallas Cowboys season. Go Ben DiNucci, go boys, and go Austin Platt, sending it right back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Ian. The past week has been crazy for our athletes, and the weather certainly has been as well. From snow last Friday to a sunny day yesterday, what could possibly come next? To find out more, let's send it over to a new face in front of the green screen, Emily Fox. Emily?
Thanks, Austin. Crazy would be an understatement, especially after we saw our first snow of the season last Friday. Despite that, it seems like we already have a break from the winter weather coming up this weekend because temperatures are getting up to 70. What's up, New Canaan High School? I'm Emily Fox, here for the first time to give you this weekend's weather. We woke up this morning to temps in the high 40s, but those will eventually warm up to the mid 60s by this afternoon. Since we saw mostly rain and chilly temps last week, today's sun makes it the perfect day to finally do something other than your homework. Like getting tested for corona. Much like today, you can expect to see sunny skies and warm temps with lows in the mid 40s rising to the high 60s by the afternoon. Saturday will be a great day to get outside and take advantage of the weekend by disappointing your neighbors and putting up your holiday decorations early. And as for Sunday, the beautiful weather continues. Although a few clouds are expected to roll in, the temperatures are set to stay steady at, you guessed it, highs in the mid to low 60s. The last 2 weeks have come with some gloomy weather, but this weekend seems to be the light at the end of the tunnel. Although the temperatures are set to stay relatively high throughout the next week, there will be some more showers, so be sure to pack an umbrella so you're not soaked for Spirit Week. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Back to you, Austin.
Thanks, Emily. It looks like this uncertainty will continue. Now, before we go, let's wish a very happy birthday to Sebastian Alvarez, Aiden Bertolotti, Adriana Caruso, Noah Dorsman, and Ellie Parkhill. And a very special happy birthday to our own Principal Egan, who is turning the big 5-0 today. Make sure if you see him in the halls to wish him a very happy birthday. We hope you and the rest of NCHS have a fabulous weekend. Don't forget to like and subscribe to NCTV's YouTube channel down below, as well as follow us on both Twitter and Instagram, also at NCTV78. We'll leave you now with a message from the guidance counselors. We'll see you guys next quarter.
Congratulations, seniors. First quarter down.
Yay! All right.